everybody. I am Alexis Rivera, and right now I'm going to interview Raya. For those of you that are familiar with her YouTube videos on her YouTube channel, the links below in the description will have access to both her Facebook and YouTube channel, so definitely check her out. So, Linda, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you, Alexis?
I am doing fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, like how everything started to happen, like where you come from and everything?
Yeah, well, I come from Sweden, and I grew up in a small town in Sweden. I come from a family with a lot of kind of dysfunctional family, if you want to put it that way. I grew up
Hmm.
with a lot of addiction and things, and
Yeah.
but also on my mother's side, we have a lot of people who have experienced extraterrestrial contact, who have seen UFOs.
Hmm.
Like my mom, she saw a big UFO when she was young, and also some of her brothers have seen UFOs, and
Yeah.
one of them, he ended up in the mental hospital after seeing a big UFO outside his window when he was young, so
Oh yeah.
it's like it have followed the family in a way, and also when I grew up, me and my mom saw a lot of UFOs and things.
Oh,
And
so
yeah, basically, I I was really had this connection to nature and had this spiritual power, when I was a child,
yeah.
and I remember that I had kind of a guardian angel that I could communicate with when I was a child, and this typical indigo characteristics, really creative, had this, I was very intuitive. I could feel people. I could feel if they were real or if they were fake or if they were lying or if they were telling the truth. So,
Mm-hmm.
and also these problems with authorities and this ritually oriented system. So, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
this made a lot of problems for me when I grew up because I couldn't handle, school and everything. Yeah, because of the competition thinking and all these things that you feel when you're a child. You just feel it like an intuition. You can't really point a finger and say, understand really what it is. You just have a big feeling that is not right. And
Mm-hmm.
so what happened was that I kind of was acting out, and I always told the truth all the time. So and this was really annoying for the adults, and they tried to
Yeah,
punish me,
yeah. I
and
know.
yeah, and that really didn't work. So I was acting out even more, and it ended with they locked me up basically on this kind of, I don't know what you call it, but like a prison for teenagers.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just had this feeling of not belonging.
Yeah.
And the reason for this was, as I see it today, that I didn't have an ego. And so I just felt that people were mean or bad, this feeling
Mm-hmm.
of, yeah, and that was really hard actually.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by it. It's sort of like it's like a very it's a big misunderstanding with a lot of the indigos or any type of star child and everything like that because of our different viewpoints towards a life. We actually want it better than bad, and I mean I understand exactly what you were going through and all that stuff and all the stuff that you dealt with
Yeah.
your family and everything. So
Yeah, but I started to seek, um, I understood really early that we have a lot of hidden potential. So I started to read books and things when I was very young. I was 13 years old when I started to search for the truth. And I know that I was guided within to do this because I didn't have any inspiration from the outside. Nobody was inspiring me to do this. So
mm-hmm.
everything came from my own soul consciousness. And I think that's the case with the indigo or the star children, that they have another type of conscious level that they have, when they incarnate, and they will be able to pick this up
Yeah. Hmm.
in,
That's yeah.
in a
That's
different way.
well. Now, with all your experiences and everything like that, you notice that there's like a some type of a spiritual like awakening in a way. can you like describe like the spiritual like evolution that everyone's going through, that people aren't either noticing it, or are they consciously noticing it? Like, how do you feel about that?
Uh, yeah, I believe that there is a spiritual evolution going on this planet right now, and I believe that we will be able to, to connect with our true essence, to really
Mm-hmm.
to be able to understand more of our true potential. And as it is right now, we are controlled by the mind and by the five senses, and we have lost contact with the soul power, and
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
a part of this amazing power. And I think that we will be able to free ourselves, and really learn to use more of our brain capacity, and create whatever we want to, because we will understand that we are the masters of our own life. And
Yeah.
I think that what we see now is just the beginning of something, totally amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree with that exactly. Um, like, do you believe that you're like an ET hybrid? And can you just explain that? Because I know either people like misunderstand what's really going on, and it'll be like sort of challenging for people to understand. But can you please explain that?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, I believe that we are all space beings.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
are all space beings. It's nothing strange with this, and I mean, this ET race that I have been in contact with are creating a new type of race. They mix their DNA with human DNA, and the reason why they do this is because they need an instrument or a body to incarnate in that will match their soul conscious level.
Mm-hmm.
And this is nothing strange at all, because if you look, you know, at the history, we have always had different types of body structures depending on the type of development that we have lived in. Like when we lived in like in the cave time, we have really different kind of body to match the time. And now it's the
Yeah.
same. To be able to match this kind of soul consciousness that want to incarnate, you need to have a body that can match this DNA code, And I mean, it's really no separation here, because um, it's like when you discovered back in the days when you discovered that uh, different parts of this world that we didn't know existed. It's the same thing going on now, but this is on a universal level, and we will understand that we have many different types of creations and races and species in the universe, and
Mm-hmm.
that's nothing strange, And we can learn to communicate if we want to, if we start to raise and work on our vibration, how to tap into this, because we have lost contact because of
Exactly. Yeah.
the reality that we live in. And I don't really believe that there will be any UFO landings in a while, because I believe that they have already landed in a way, because they have chosen to incarnate here as hybrids or as star children, or whatever you like to call it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And these children, I believe they will be activated, and reconnect um, with themselves and the missions that they have down here. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
this has already started, because I have people writing message to me really often, telling me what they experience. And it's just the beginning of this process. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that people think that this sounds totally crazy when you talk about it. I mean, I have no hidden agenda why I come out with this message. I started to share this message 1 year ago. I haven't earned any money on this. If I would interested in uh, get money or something, I could do that in so many different ways. So
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
just sharing my experience, because I know that this will inspire other people to come out with their stories, to believe in what they have experienced, and to really connect with this amazing power of the universe.
And at what age did you experience your first ET contact? Like, how was it? Like, around that age, and how was your views? Around the age that you actually like experienced it. Like, what were you thinking and everything?
I mean, I believe that I probably was contacted really when I was a child, because I have some defense memories that are really related to ET contact.
Exactly.
But I know also that my contacts have been it had been on a etheric level, if you want to call it that. So, but anyway, the first conscious contact was in 2003, and I mean, I experienced this awakening that I saw the future and the past in a way that just was connected. Everything was connected, and I experienced like a big war inside myself, if you want to put it that way. I saw the future. I saw this time coming. I saw this like a prophetic, like a vision of the future, and I saw a new time coming, and that I saw all the drama and I saw all the conflicts on this planet, and I really understood everything deeply, why this happened, and this energy level was really high because of the information.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't really handle it, and I almost freaked out from it, and back then you didn't have all this information. I didn't have any internet. I didn't have
Exactly.
anything
Yeah.
to relate, so I didn't know what was happening to me, and I was totally freaked out for almost 3 weeks. My memory is totally blocked,
Mm-hmm.
and I um, I have a few memories from this experience,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the memories is like uh, I I was downtown in the town that I lived in, and this is a really spiritual memory in a way. And
Yeah.
I I was sitting down somewhere, and this lady came and she sat beside me and she started to talk with me. And I had this feeling inside of me that I have had for my whole life, that I didn't belong here, that I had to move from my town that I lived in, and if I just could get away from this, then it would be fine, and all these illusions that you live in, you know what I mean? And she
Exactly.
started
Yeah.
to talk to me, this lady, and she started to uh, she said that she lived in this town, and that she lived with her man,
Mm-hmm.
and they lived in a house there, and that he was a artist, he was a painter, he was
Yeah.
painting. And she started to tell me how happy she was, and she started to shine, I just saw her light, and it's like a really spiritual memory. And
Yeah.
then in the same moment, the whole town was starting to light up, and I just saw this light everywhere, and I had this feeling like you don't have to go anywhere, it's all inside of you.
Wow. Yeah.
Everything is inside of you, I had this. It was just an amazing memory, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if it happened. I don't know if this lady exists or not, because I was totally, in a totally different mind state, because I lost contact with my five senses, and that's something that is really hard to handle, and they had to really heal me to come back to reality, because what happened next was that I was hypnotized night after night after night, so that I was neutralized to come back to this reality again.
Wow.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the hypnosis was when I woke up to this song, like I have told before. They
Mm-hmm.
woke me up to this song with Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Stop, because I had my TV on, and at the same exact moment when I woke up, this song started, and they sing in this text about coming from the space to teach you about the Pleiades. And
Hmm.
this was the first time I ever heard about the Pleiades.
Yeah.
Saw this big light like a spaceship outside my window, and then disappeared. And uh, when under these 3 weeks, when I was, had this experience, people came visit me, and I told people that I had become pregnant in a spaceship.
Wow.
This was what's happened, and I have no memory of this at all.
Yeah.
And after this, I woke up again, and I came back to reality again, and I had no idea what was going on, and I didn't know how to handle all this, and everybody thought that I was totally crazy and called me names, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, I moved from my town because I wanted to get away from all this, and um, I started to doubt myself, that I started to think that maybe I was crazy, because
Yeah.
I didn't know. And maybe I think it was 6 months after this, when I had this, this night when I woke up, and something really made me go and put the TV on, and in the middle of the night, and this series started with Steven Spielberg about this girl who became pregnant in a spaceship. And this was also like, this was signs outside, to prove that what I was experiencing on the inside, and from that, in that moment, I had no doubt, because it was so strange, all these
Mm-hmm.
things that was happening. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. That's amazing. That really is. Like, I mean, how everything is, I don't even want to call it synchronicity. It was almost like it was placed there, like universally for you,
yeah,
specifically for
yeah,
you to be like, hey, look it, it's serious, it's
exactly.
real.
Yeah, because that's all I had back then. I didn't, like now when you experience something like this, you can go out and search for it. You will find other people that have had similar experience and things. But I didn't had anything, to relate to. So this was something for me to, okay, this is what is going on, because this energy level was so high. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
if you haven't experienced anything like that, you can't even imagine what it's like. I am just blessed. I feel blessed that I am back again on earth, because I could have ended up in a mental hospital or something,
Exactly. Yeah.
because it's totally crazy. So um, yeah,
You know what they say, like the crazy ones are the ones that are geniuses, and those are the ones that actually like don't think like everyone else, and that's how everyone needs to be, like and that's why
yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
find your story crazy like at all, because I mean it happens, and probably more so for other people, but it happens, and I feel like you sharing all this is really helping other people enlighten to the fact that you're anything could happen to you at any moment, and it's a really great story and everything like that, and how it collaborates with how Spielberg's his series, how how perfect it aligned with it, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Because they get these messages, from the subconscious, and the subconscious is I mean, it's a reality that you can tap into, because what we think is, science fiction is actually not science fiction, it's
Mm-hmm.
reality. But we need to prepare people in different ways, so that's why we have all these movies and things. It's just a way to prepare people for what is real, because when you live in an illusion, you have to take it step by step. So that's why we have so many movies right now, with this message to really to start to wake people up.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a process, everything, and
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. And I feel like I have nothing to lose, because I am not programmed anymore to believe or think that I need to be in a certain way or fit in. I have nothing to lose on coming out with my story. I feel that it's really time to do so. And I saw this in 2003. I saw that this time will come. And when I started to share 1 year ago after the awakening 2011, I knew that now it's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to
Mm-hmm.
come out with this story, and I hope to inspire other people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was all like in perfect timing, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess more people are open to us, and like how we had that conversation last time about how it could be a little rough for other people because of how it could be sort of twisted, the information that's coming out now. But
Yeah.
it's good
Exactly. Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good time for all of it. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a lot of different, information out there, but I'm sure about that those who, are ready for a spiritual journey, or they will find the true message, because they will be able to sort out what is, what they can
yes, yes,
be
exactly.
in resonance with, and not, what I mean. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
So you believe that you and your children are part of this hybrid program? Like, what makes you different from other people?
I mean, like I said before, this ET rays are creating hybrids with a different structure, to match the soul consciousness. And I mean, that's because this star children or these hybrids that comes down here don't have the same background or the same history as people here, because they have in many cases, their first incarnation on Earth. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so hard for them to handle the system down here. That's why when you read all the characteristics for indigo child, it's like they have problem to adapt to the system. They refuse the system and all this because they have not been involved here, because they come from another type of system. And this is why we have people waking up now, start to remember things from the history on different star systems, and all this. And it creates a lot of problems for these children. I don't think that is any difference in that way, because we are, as I said, we are one universal family. It's just that if you have another history, you will have another experience, and that will make you a little bit different. It's the same with you and me. I grew up in Sweden,
Yeah.
and you grew up in America. And it's of course we will have different types of histories, and it's nothing strange with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's the difference is basically probably the soul consciousness and how you look at things, because you haven't been programmed down here in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can say about myself, and it's that I think that I am very sensitive, when it comes to poisons, when it comes to different food. And I stopped eating meat when I was 15 years old because my system couldn't handle it, and I've
Yeah.
always been able to to see the truth in a way, and
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that's all I can say about it, really.
Well, I mean, from the last time I've spoken to you, I mean, you told me like in 2011, like you had your close contact and that spiritual awakening, and it changed your life completely. I mean, can you please like tell us about that experience?
Yeah, because after what happened in 2003, I really, after a while, I started to uh, I was a little bit afraid, to be honest, because of this experience, because I was so close really to get really mentally ill from this, and I was
Mm-hmm.
healed back to normal and everything. And when I started to think about it after, 1 year, 2 year passed, I was starting to get a little bit afraid of all this, because I didn't had all the answers that I needed, to be able to understand this and to accept this in a way, and
Yeah.
so I basically, closed my mind a little bit and went back to a little bit to this illusionary reality, in a way. But
Yeah.
in 2011, I really, I experienced something amazing that I wish for everybody to experience, because
Mm-hmm.
I was healed, if you want to
Yeah.
put it that way,
Exactly.
from
Mm-hmm.
universal power. And I saw, I saw all the connections came together, and I felt this amazing love power, and like a DNA awakening. And I really, it went from a knowledge. No, it went from a belief to a knowledge. I didn't believe more. I know now that this
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
real. I know it is nothing that, because these experiences are so strong, and yeah, basically, yeah, what can I say? I started to see this number 11 phenomena, everywhere. I saw this number 11
Mm-hmm.
all the time, and I hadn't been out searching so much on the internet. I had never heard about 11 phenomena before this, and I started to see this. My clock stopped, on 9/11, and I saw every
Wow.
time I went out, I saw this number 11 on cars, and I saw it everywhere. And I was like, "What the hell is number 11 phenomena? What is this?" And I started to search for this, and I saw that many other people saw this as some kind of spiritual awakening sign, and also I discovered that this number 11 was encoded in my birth. My birthday is 11th, and my grandmother's birthday and my father's birthday, and I saw the time of my birth and the city I was born in, the dial code, and all the apartments I ever lived in was something with 11, and all these signs was encoded everywhere in my life. It's the same thing with the town I grew up in. The area I live in is all different kinds of star names, and
That's amazing. Yeah.
it's just everywhere this signs, and it was just a amazing awakening. And yeah, I was told telepathically that I'm a part of this hybrid program, and that yeah, everything I basically share with you now, I was told. And I remember also that, because of the programs that we of the program that we have here, in the system, I was healed from the last things that I had inside of me, because you don't have any karma, you don't have any past here, so you don't have so much energy blocking, to get rid of. But
Mm-hmm.
the last little programs about how you should be, how you should, that you have to become someone in this fake system, and all this. Everything was just gone. I was totally free. I was free in my mind. I was free in my body and in my soul, because all of the programs disappeared from this healing that I went through, and
That's
I mean, it's
amazing.
an amazing feeling that I wish everybody to experience, because if we could have more of this, because all we see now is a result of what we have inside, and if we could free ourselves from all the things that are keeping us from really understand how amazing we are,
Mm-hmm.
then we could create an amazing world.
That's amazing. That really is like that experience, and I can relate to that because of the phenomenon I had with 333 and 13. And
Yeah,
and it's really magical how like numbers and everything like this will speak to you in a way where it's sort of
yeah,
like subconscious and conscious at the same time, and yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing. That really is, like, I totally agree with everything you said. Like, that's a
yeah. And I
really
mean,
amazing.
yeah, because I think it's really important, because this is the way we're gonna change, by raising our frequency, and by changing our own lifestyle and our actions, so that we can raise our own frequency and our own energy in our body. Because by holding this frequency, um, is I believe that this is the only way to change,
Yeah, exactly.
because it's all energy, and
Mm-hmm.
the reason why we have this control system right now is because of most people are controlled by the lower chakra in their body. So when we
Yeah.
will be able to raise our consciousness to a higher consciousness, then we will create a totally different system. So it's about personal responsibility, and about freeing yourself from all the mind controlling programs that we see here.
Yeah.
And first of all, you have to become aware of this, on how many different levels this mind control program works,
Mm-hmm.
because then we will be able to change. And when you free yourself from one thing, you discover there is another thing, because we create our reality out from illusions,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what I mean.
So after like your awakening and everything like that, like how do you learn to like deal with a lot of negative conflict or anything that you go through like in a daily life, or any negative people? Like how do you sort of like move that away? Because I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of people like need help with. Even if they're under a type of a spiritual journey, it's how to
Yeah,
release that negativity. Like what worked for you like this whole entire time?
yeah. I mean, I believe that before I really had this awakening, I was going through a lot of changes in my life, and it all started when I started to change my thoughts around things,
Mm-hmm.
because you keep your energy down by your thoughts. If you can learn how to control your thoughts, and really believe in yourself, and because, as I said, we are programmed not to believe in ourselves because of the system. But when you learn how to, break free from this,
Mm-hmm.
then you will be able to make a change in your life. And I mean, if you have, I mean, I have also been working on this for many years. I started when I was maybe 17 years old. I started to reprogram myself. I started in a 12-step program, to start to reprogram myself from different addictions and things that I have been through in my life before, and I have really, worked hard to get to this point. So I think that you can't just get it for free. You need to really have a goal and try to do the best to reach this. I
Yeah.
mean, write a list or something on the things that you want to change, and start to live in gratitude, start to be thankful for what you have, and take responsibility for your health, and start to, live a clean life. Don't think that you will find this outside of you, and like many people do,
Yeah,
searching for
exactly. Hmm.
this outside themselves, and give your power away to other people is also one thing. When you think that someone is more than you, and someone is more developed than you, and someone else have all the answers, you really need to start to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things you can do to try to avoid relationships that is not good for you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, connect with earth, and really try to do meditation and things that can um, help you on your spiritual journey.
Hmm.
And because it's so easy for us to do things that is negative and destructive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
really easy. That's strange if you think about it.
Hmm.
And but when you start to focus on things that will, help you increase your energy, you will just get more and more of it, because it's a cause of a reaction, or what you call it. It's a law of attraction.
Hmm.
So what you focus on, you can master.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, there's a lot of people that just doesn't want, they don't want to let go of the illusions they have around them, and that's one of the biggest way of like sort of not to destroy the ego, but to have control of it, and
Yeah.
like once, if yeah, like everything you just said, like it totally resonates. Like everything that you do resonates with the way I believe and everything. So yeah, I
Mm.
totally agree. It's really good. Like for like the people that are actually having this like spiritual awakening or like contact, like what advice can you give to them to to sort of prepare themselves mentally or spiritually or anything?
Mm. Yeah, I believe that, really trust yourself and what you are going through, don't forget who you are in all this, because it can be a little bit confusing when
Hmm.
this energy starts, or if you experience contact. But trust yourself. I mean, remember who you are. You remember who you are deep inside, and think positive, like try to find support from people that can understand you. Don't talk with people who don't understand, because the only thing they will do is that they will try to, push you down in all this, because they will not understand what you talk about. So try to find people that can understand what you talk about.
Hmm.
And I mean, make sure to eat, because what happened to me was that I lost, when I lose contact with my five senses, it's hard to be grounded on earth. And I lost weight. I lost too much weight. I mean, I after this I suffered from that. My thyroid collapsed, because I
Mm.
didn't get the nutrition that I needed, and I really want to say to people that don't forget to eat.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
And also try to rest when you feel that you get confused, and that it's too much energy. Then try to just rest as much as you can. Try to do this low, not have too much input all the time,
Hmm.
and really stay away from all drugs and alcohol and all this, and try to eat healthy food,
Yeah.
and live a clean life, and things will slow down, and it will be more balanced
Hmm.
after a while, because it can affect you really, really strong, this type of experience.
Hmm. No, yeah, I totally agree. Like when it comes to like the spiritual awakening, it's good to stay more light and more clean, as a temple wise, because of the vibrations you put on and stuff like that. Like, and like same goes with the contact. I mean, because I mean, it is like a lot of telepathy, but at the same time, it's whether it's like an astral form or whatever. A lot of people have their like contact experiences. It's best to stay at a higher vibration for them to give you like a clear message, you know? And like
Yeah.
that's why I totally understand when you say to like to stay clean and everything like that because you know keep your body away from toxins because they'll keep you like at a lower like frequency and stuff. So
Yeah, and I believe also that it will be really hard for the body to handle this because it's on a totally frequency, a different frequency. And like what happened to me, I feel that I am so much more sensitive now. I mean, I can't eat junk food. I would probably die if I. No, but I mean, and I mean, if I would drink something, I'd probably knocked out or something because it's the system change and the energy level of your body changes and
yeah,
so
definitely,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
and
feel like
that's
yeah.
also
Hmm.
yeah. Sorry.
No, I feel like that's something that's really important that everyone should realize that any type of food is a physical manifestation of energy, you know? So like if you're putting in negative energy, you're gonna get negative stuff for your body, and you're a perfect example of how a body would react to that after like an awakening process, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of people like gotta realize that you know that a lot of foods, you know, or drinks or junk food is really dangerous for like our vibrational, you know, just our
exactly.
vibration and everything. So yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm sure about that. Some of my contacts, that's why I experienced. I mean, this sounds really crazy, I know that, but from I was from when I was 11, when I started to smoke weed, and
Mhm.
to maybe around 20 or something, I experienced a lot of different illnesses and addictions that I was healed from in a miraculous way. That all the people in my surrounding are, uh, think that it's amazing that I have been able to heal myself
Mhm.
from all these things. But I know that I have also, in my contacts, it have been on a scientific level because this race will have another type of, as I said, another type of DNA that will not allow all these different kinds of behaviors that are destructive for the human race, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
many people are stuck in different addictions, food addictions, alcohol, drugs, and all this, and this creates, the culture that we have today. And I mean, it's not good for the culture that we have today with all these different behaviors. And
Yeah.
we need to be able to raise our vibration and learn to, because this keeps us down in a way.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's something that. Uh, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm sure that some of my contacts have been about this, and
Mhm.
yeah,
No, yeah, and that's another thing. Like for a lot of people that you know, because I see a lot of people argue and fight over the use of marijuana and how, you know, it could help. I mean, how people you know say
yeah,
it's not a drug and everything.
I
The
know,
the way I look at it, it's like for some people, and I've seen it happen. For some people, I guess to them it helps them some way somehow, but to me, no really good. You know, it's not really a good experience. I mean, I don't really tend to hang on to it because I mean, and I never really did. So it's like
no,
I guess for people that have the indigos or you know like the people that are like
mm,
the indigos or the star children, it doesn't it affects us in a way where you know even if everyone in the world does have it within already, have the access to reach that state of consciousness when they feel like when they're high naturally.
mm,
I mean, and I
yeah,
understand that. I guess for the people that are like at a very low frequency, like to them, you know, this isn't me, but to them, I guess Mother Earth helps them to raise a little bit. But at the same time,
mm,
marijuana does treat the physical frequencies. I mean, the physical chakras, you know,
yeah,
which is are the lower ones and everything like. And I know that from experience, you know,
yeah, exactly, same with me.
and you know, um, so yeah, I
Absolutely,
mean, if like let's say if someone smoked weed and then they meditated or something and they try to stay away
mm,
from being stupid or you know or like eating
yeah,
junk food and all this other stuff that's bad for you or just stuffing yourself, then maybe it can help you a little more because you're at a spiritual state of consciousness at the same time. You know, it's not going to get you really far, you know, and
no,
if you yourself could get yourself very far, then you probably really don't you don't really need anything else to help you out, you know?
exactly,
And
And I mean, if you don't have discipline in one area, it's harder to have discipline in another area, if you know what I mean. And the thing is that this is addictive. I mean, I was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
smoking weed. I grew up in a family where everybody was smoking weed. So for me, it's not about that. I don't judge anyone. I love my family, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's not about that. I have been smoking a lot of weed. It's not about that. It's about that it's addictive, and
Mhm.
what happens is for many people is that their well-being is dependent on whether they smoke or not, because they
Yeah.
can't find the true balance in themselves,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
they have to smoke in order to feel the balance. So it affects the you know the yeah, they create a chemical reaction in the brain, and they need to fill this up all the time. It's the same with all
Yeah.
addiction.
Exactly.
You
And you
know,
know
if
what?
you are
Like.
sugar addicted,
Mhm.
you eat sugar all the time in order to feel good, because you get addicted to the sugar. And it's the same with relationships. When you search outside yourself, you need you need someone outside of you to give you this satisfaction that you already have inside. It's just that you really don't have understand how powerful you are.
Yeah.
So you search for this satisfaction outside of you all the time, and this is how most people live, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Mhm.
it's the same with TV. It's the same with the media. It's the same with fashion. It's the same with you know clothes, shopping, with females want to look good all the time, and all these illusions that are keeping
Mhm.
us from understanding how truly powerful we are and how amazing life can be when we understand this, the spiritual power.
Yeah. And it's like Yeah, exactly, just like that. And like again with like the use of marijuana, how people they want to feel that high. They want to feel like, oh, I need to relax and all this stuff. And then if you think about it, like it can affect you negative or positive, because the people that defend it with an iron fist will just swear at you saying it's not a drug and all this other stuff. And and if you
Yeah,
were if
it's Mother Earth and all this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if you spiritually were enlightened by this substance, and you would know better not to talk that way. You would know better to
Yeah,
like know like, okay, well, that's a point because it does feed on the lower chakras, which is
it definitely does.
yeah.
And I mean, you can't use the argument is Mother Earth, because a lot of things comes from Mother Earth. I mean, you
Yeah.
have opium from Mother Earth, you have sugar from Mother Earth, you have a lot of things from Mother Earth that was not meant for us to use in an addictive way.
Yeah.
And because of the spiritual emptiness that we have inside, because of the increasing of the Westworld society and all the propaganda and all the illusions that we live in, this emptiness gets bigger, and that's why also the addictions and all this is getting worse for
Yeah.
people. And then people say, yeah, but back people have always been using different kinds of drugs in order
Yeah, the
to connect.
shamans and stuff.
Yeah, they talk about it. Yeah, it's true, but
Hmm.
you know
They use it for
what?
spiritual purposes. Like they don't abuse it like a lot of people do nowadays. Like they don't just
Yeah,
do it just because. They
exactly.
they would do it for a good reason, and it's not like they will do it a lot. Like it would be
No.
they would do it when like whatever like ceremonies or stuff, or like
Yeah,
stuff like that. Same thing goes with like
yeah.
ayahuasca and dimethyltryptamine and all that other stuff. Like yeah.
That's another type of development or another
Mhm.
type of culture. What we will see now is that we will create different type of system,
Yeah.
and we will be able to use more our soul potential, and we will be able to develop other hidden abilities, and we will be able to take control over our lives in a different type of way. I mean, it will be a new type of time. That's what it's called, the new time, the new race, the new children, the new, all this new.
Yeah, that's
It's
why.
not
Yeah,
about,
and that's
yeah,
one thing that
but
I agree that the new age needs to clarify. I know a lot of people that are coming into this new knowledge. They're automatically being sucked in the way the new age is showing them stuff, and this is a lot of stuff that people in a community, like, not it's not a religion, or if it's turning into that, but
no.
the community needs to make this aware that
Mm,
these substances, I'm sorry, should be used in good manner. It should be be taken care of, like, because
mm,
I mean DMT, I never took it before, but from other people's experiences, they say, I mean, we do have dimethyltryptamine. It's in the pineal gland. We have this substance within us, and
Ah, good. Then you don't need to take it if you have it inside.
exactly, yeah, and but it's at the same time, if people could get in tuned with that frequency of the dimethyltryptamine, so we won't need these substances. I guess for
Oh,
some other people, it has awakened them, but at the
yeah,
same time they continue to use it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you use it,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
you don't need
If you
to.
use it, no, exactly. If you use it once and you get some type of, I can't say that this is wrong for everybody because
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I don't judge people. Maybe for some people it's good. Maybe for some people it will have an, awakening that will totally change their
Mhm,
life.
mhm.
But for some other people, because what happens is that you will manifest in this type of experience, you will manifest what's in your soul conscious level. And for me, if I want to guide people spiritually, I can't recommend this because I can't know exactly what's in another type of person's inside another type of person. So what I will keep on saying is that I believe that we have the power inside,
Yeah.
because then I want, I can't guide people in that kind of way, and because I believe that we have the spiritual power. And
Mhm.
also I have also had friends that have been taking these types of drugs and totally freaked out because and yeah,
Yeah.
it's I can't recommend that to people because, as I said, I believe that we have the power inside, and
Yeah.
if we start to believe in this, this is when the miracle will happen. Because as long as you think that you will find it outside of you, what will you think will happen?
Yeah,
You give
exactly.
the power away again. You give the power away again to a drug, to another person, to a master, to this and to this and to that,
That's why,
because you
yeah.
don't understand how amazing and how powerful you are.
Mhm.
You start to think like that, your your DNA will start to wake up. I have experiences of smoking a lot of marijuana, and I have
Mhm.
experienced, a DNA awakening in a natural way, and it's totally two totally different things.
Mhm.
Because what we do want is that we want to be able to master our own lives and our own thoughts, and
Yeah.
we don't want anything else to control us, and so I think that many people are smoking marijuana, and it's totally up to each and one if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But I believe that in the future it will be different, because we will understand, how the power of the universe will start to activate people, and yeah, we'll create something else out of this.
So, like, what advice could you give, like, the parents with these star children or these indigo children or the hybrids? Because I know it could be extremely difficult for them. I mean, because I know by experience it was difficult for my mom raising me, and like. So, what would be like your like advice to them, like all the parents that are tuning in?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's not so really. It's really hard to raise those kids. I know that these kids are really, they have a really strong will, because I have 3 kids myself, and my advice is really, maybe you don't have to take a lot of fights with them all the time, because they are really strong spirits and small bodies, and
Exactly. Yeah.
this will be shown in different ways. So, I mean, try to give them as clean food as possible, and no vaccines and all this, and try to talk with them about different subjects, that can be good for their spiritual development. Because when I grew up, I didn't have anyone,
Oh
and
yeah,
I
no.
know that my children, because of they have me, that you know because subconsciously, and they know, they know things. So when you talk about different subjects with them, that will be very natural for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you will feel in what kind of age you can start to talk about different subjects, and talk about the system, talk about the school system, talk about all this. Tell them the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's how I feel, and don't worry too much, because I am sure about that they will find themselves,
Mhm.
because of the level of soul consciousness that they have.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this ADHD diagnosis and everything, I know that many people, because of the school system and the pressure and everything, they put these kids on
Yeah.
medications, and you know that's just totally crazy.
Yeah, seriously. No, and that's another thing. Like ADHD is one thing. Like a lot of people get confused with because someone has ADHD doesn't necessarily make them a star children. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Mm.
it's something. I think everyone has ADHD. I don't think just like I honest to God think everyone has ADHD for the simple fact that you know it's a vibration to me to be that excited and that hyper and that active. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't think it's any type of a
Yeah,
sickness. Like I
I
never
know
thought
that.
it was either.
But I mean, as we can see right now, is that more and more children are diagnosed with ADHD, and when they
Yeah,
are children,
exactly.
you can't really, you don't know really, because many of these children that are incarnated right now are have a higher type of consciousness, and that's why they have this high energy, many of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think we should give any children these types of medications. I mean, there are
Mhm.
other different ways to solve these problems. It's
Yeah.
just an easy fix. We just want, you know because we don't want to handle the real situation. That's
Yeah.
how it
Mhm.
is all the time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I totally agree. And that's one thing that a lot of parents just have to pay attention to. Be easy with them, because even me, like I'm 21 years old, and I look back in my life, and I was like, I was really hard to deal with, and if I was a parent dealing with me,
Yeah.
I would know how to talk or to treat them like because but
Exactly.
definitely talk to them because even
Mm,
even if when these children grow up they're gonna be like parents to you and you're the parent because they're gonna know so much and they're gonna
exactly.
they'll be able to teach you so much. So I mean it's
Yeah.
it's definitely important to keep these children safe.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I feel too. But don't be afraid to talk with them, and
Yeah.
to talk about the truth.
Yeah, they'll be very open as well. They'll be
Yeah.
they'll say some things just like, "Oh my goodness, like why would you say that?" or what, cuz they're
Mm,
really real
mm,
people.
yeah. Yeah.
so,
Exactly.
so yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's amazing. I mean, we have so much to learn from the children, about how you can be in the moment and everything. It's just yeah.
yeah, I agree. So back to your contact and everything like that. Like do you know what specific alien race is the one that contacted you and like how can you explain them and everything?
Yeah, I believe it's as far as I know now, it's a yeah. I don't know how to pronounce this in English, but maybe you can help me.
Go ahead, you can just say it and I'll just
I mean, it's the Zeta.
yeah, the Zeta Reticuli, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah. Well, that's what the humans call them. But
exactly.
it's that
But
race of people, yeah.
yeah, as far as I know, it is, and it's a advanced form of this. So they work on an etheric level. They don't have to, you know. I have never experienced that I have been abducted and
Hmm.
on a spaceship and things, because when I have been um, examined, do you say that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have felt this many times. That they examine me, but I have felt that this have been taking place on an etheric level. So I can feel when they come. I can feel when they are in my home. I can feel the energy vibration in the house when they are around, and I can feel that
Oh
this
wow. Yeah.
affects the electricity in the house and everything. Like the the clocks start to go 1 hour before, after, all the time. All the electricity is just really affected from this, and also my children have been affected from this, and I can feel how they examine me, and I have felt it many times. And I never had any experience on a spaceship or anything, because this specific race don't have to abduct or have to take you away, because they can do it on an etheric level. And that's also why they gave me this type of signs on the outside, like the Steven Spielberg and this Red Hot Chili Peppers, to show me what it's about.
Hmm.
So I don't have any memory of being abducted in that way.
Yeah, you don't have any memories of them, but no, yeah, I totally agree. Like they're a very good species. Like from my experience, as well, very lovable beings, and all they really want is to help of humanity. Like from my experience as well, like I know that for sure about them, and um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and people have the really wrong interpretation of them, and I just everyone really needs to stay away from what the media is telling about them because they're really trying to help like a lot.
Yeah, I mean there are different types of
Yeah, exactly.
races. That's how it is. I mean, all the human beings are not the same. It's the same with this race
Yeah.
and with all the different types of race. I mean, they have had their history and their planet and everything. And I mean, after what happened there, I believe that you know they had different types of experiences after this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, really, and I'm glad that they're here and they helped you out to really help the rest of humanity because I mean they go through a lot
Yeah.
of stuff, them too. They have to deal with a lot of crap from from us and from other
Mm.
people and there and
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
the thing is that they want to incarnate here. They are
Mhm.
incarnated here. That's the hybrid. Their souls are creating. They are creating bodies for their soul to incarnate here
Yeah,
on Earth.
exactly. Yep.
So they are here. So when people think, "Have you seen an ET?" Yeah, I have. They are just around the corner.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
seriously. So, yeah, that's another thing. Like, they're yeah, they're trying to incarnate here, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of vessels that they're in and everything like that, and everyone just got to realize that there's ETs here. Yes, it could be a person that looks
yeah,
exactly
exactly.
like a human being, but
Yeah.
and they're not in tune with their, I guess, alien-like essence, but there is people here that are extraterrestrial, and they look
Exactly.
really human, but yeah, I mean, they're geniuses. I mean, for those that didn't know, like their M-class planets got destroyed, so
Exactly.
they need another place to incarnate and to help us with this, spiritual awakening, everything like that.
Exactly.
So like for like a few tips on like for like a lot of people that can get connected to like Gaia, like what can you tell them to like really get in tune with this planet and everything like that? Because I feel like it's one thing that's really important.
I mean, I feel probably that that's something that I need help with because I am very spaced out. I have been that because of my contact. Now I
Yeah, so
feel
do I.
like I have been, I am a little bit more connected now to this planet, and I feel like I really want to be that because of my experiences. I mean, I have been really focused on the third eye and on this chakra, because um, I have a lot of this universal power, and many
Uh-huh.
other people maybe have a lot of this another type of experiences and how to connect with Mother Earth and all this. But I mean, what can I say? Um, Maybe you can help me out here. I mean, I am spaced out. No, I'm joking. Okay, let me think. Um, Try to be close to nature. Try to be with animals, with children. That's what I
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like I have a lot of things to learn down here, and I think it's an amazing journey. I don't want to leave this planet. I want to create something down here. I mean, I want us all to connect on another type of level so that we can create something together down here and learn from
Exactly.
each
Yeah.
other. Because right now, we have so much different souls down here with different experiences, and it's an amazing planet if we just
Yeah,
can
this planet's just filled with a bunch of hybrids from everywhere. I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing.
exactly,
that,
exactly.
that is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and the future will be, I'm sure about a lot of things will happen. The system will fall, and we will see a lot of things played out down here. And I think it's really important that we stay in the right vibration
Yeah.
and don't go into this drama that will be played out because it's all mind tricks. It's a mind game going on,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
it's all in your mind. It's all in your so you can choose if you want to be a part of this mind game or if you want to start your soul journey.
Mhm.
And I mean, when it comes to connect with Mother Earth, I believe that yeah, to spend time in nature, stay away from all this uh, mind-related programs and things that want to create illusions, and try to stay natural and live
Mhm.
a healthy, natural life.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. Like even if we are in this matrix, the planet is still here, and that's if this is the only thing that has taken care of us for all these years we've been here for, then shouldn't we show this mother more attention?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I completely agree. Yeah. So, I know just by the look of you, a lot of people get this confused, because you have the blonde hair, blue eyes, and everything.
Mm.
But, you know, people here call, those stars, the star cluster Pleiades. They call it the
Mm.
Pleiades, and a lot of people get confused that you look like a Pleiadian. So,
Mm.
do you want to clarify that for people?
Yeah, I'm Swedish, and I mean, you should come and visit this place, and you will see that people look like this here, and not all of them are ETs, I promise you.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that, I mean, I have felt connection with the Pleiades after my contacts, and I mean, uh, I don't feel that that's where I'm from, because you know what, I'm from the universal energy source.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I can't say that I am from this star system or from this star system, because I also believe that in the New Age movement, it's like a religion going on.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
am a Pleiadian, and I am a Arcturian, and I am this and that. I mean, we are all one, and we are on Earth right now. And yeah, we
Mhm.
have experienced extraterrestrial contacts and all this, but let us not identify ourselves too much with all these different races, because it's like
Mhm.
same thing. If I will identify myself too much with being Swedish, and I will like, oh, I'm Swedish and you are from America, and let's create all these borders between us so that we will be
Exactly. Yeah.
even more
Mhm.
separated. Let's open up and get free ourselves from all these borders and limitations, that are keeping us from feeling the oneness.
Yeah, no, that's completely reasonable. Like I totally agree and everything, and that's one thing I do notice with the New Age movement as well, is the labeling and of like I told you before. I mean, I do not see because I have experience over there as well, and I don't think it's Pleiades because that's just what they call it here. It is,
Exactly.
there is planets there that one people, people come from, and I don't. That's why I don't call myself Pleiadian, and
Mm.
or none of that. I just know where I'm from, and that's it. But in the end of the day, we are all
Yeah.
men of color, men and women of color, whether you're purple skin, everything. So
Yeah.
we're all human in the universe. Like this vessel, I
Yeah.
mean, whether if it's a different shape, we all have two eyes, a nose. We all have something that has
Exactly.
our five senses and our, and all this other stuff.
Mm.
Like it's just we're all men of color, human,
Mm.
and
And I mean, I do believe that I mean, you probably maybe lived many lives in one system, and that can
yeah,
affect
exactly,
you, and you feel memories from this particular system and all this. But I mean, that's totally okay. But don't let us not forget that we are one family. Of
exactly, yeah.
it's really
Bottom line is that if it wasn't for anybody in this universe, then none of us would be alive. It's always,
mm,
we're all just one huge family. I mean, we're in the universe together. It's not like, yeah, we have our planets, yeah, we have our places, we have our things, we have our different races, but we are still all from the same source. And around
exactly,
us is the
yeah,
universe. We belong
exactly,
here. So,
yeah.
yeah, I completely agree.
Mm.
So what do you think is going to happen in the future in this planet? Like from here on out, and how will this transformation commence and everything? Like, how do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I definitely think that this system will collapse, because it's built on a totally wrong foundation, if you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
mean, it it's not a matter of if it will fall, it's more like when.
When exactly? Yep.
And, from this, we will probably build something totally different, and, new technology, and, clean and clean world, and free from, hopefully, from all these borders and things that we see now. And
Mhm.
it is a process, and like I said, we have to be able to be focused in this process, so that we don't lose ourselves, because there will be a lot of things played out, and it already is a lot of things going on, all these conspiracy things, and we
Exactly.
see all
Yeah.
the things played out, and we need to focus on staying in the love vibration, and understand that this is one, in a way, because it serves to wake us up. The
Exactly. Yeah.
negative thing serves to wake us up. So we shouldn't see this as, we shouldn't go into this negative feeling about it. I mean, we have to learn from it, not not be controlled by this lower energy that we see, you know. And yeah, I think that we will be able to, as I said before, to develop other types of abilities,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and learn more about ourselves and our potentials or soul capacity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be totally honest. I'm already starting to feel it now. Like
Yeah,
I've been already
yeah,
having like ways of harnessing my energy in a ways where it freaks me the hell out
yeah,
sometimes. But
yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely. But I mean, it will be more and more and more controlled, you know. And I think, you know, we will be able to control this energy more, and we will be able to really focus on what we will do and then manifest that. And yeah, and I think it's just an amazing time we live in. I think we should
yeah,
focus on the positive more than on the negative.
yeah, absolutely. Linda, thank you so much. It's
Yeah,
great talking to you again.
thank you too. I mean, thank you very much. And yeah,
Yeah, thank you again for talking. And if there's anything you want to say right now to everyone right now that we're listening, and anything you want to say.
no, just believe in yourself and believe in your power, and don't let things keep you down, because you can do whatever you want to when you start to believe in yourself. And you are amazing. Nothing is more or less than you are, because we are all one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda. I love you. Have a nice
Love you
day.
too. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.